Okay. So, maybe while we're waiting for our last two here, I'll just explain to you guys a little bit about what we're going to do tonight. So the reason I've called you up here, the idea is that there are, so basically I'm doing this graduate class through the Savannah College of Art and Design, and I will sit here.
Oh, this is great. So David and Nathan get to sit in that.
Definitely.
Well played.
Let's see. Oh, okay. So this master's degree that I'm doing is a master's in design management, and it is a lot of the theory and application of design thinking, which is a very iterative approach to solving problems, and almost solving problems by backing up and saying like, okay, let's actually identify the real problem here, and then go ahead and try to find different ways to solve that. And part of that is developing my skills as a facilitator of working sessions and focus groups and situations in which great work, bringing teams together, making space, and creating the ability for great things and great ideas to happen and to be created. So today is kind of an exercise in that. So I've kind of giving you guys a little bit of a taste of kind of what we want to explore, and I've left it pretty vague, but half the fun of that is that we're going to we have kind of a general true north we're going to be starting with today, but the idea is to together really kind of decide on a really compelling problem that maybe none of us could articulate right now, but we're going to get there, and then work with that a little bit to brainstorm some really cool ideas about how to solve that problem. And even if it's not a problem per se, it could be a challenge or an issue, or just an interesting idea, or just a lack of opportunity or movement in any certain direction. And so in particular, we're going to be exploring this idea of community today. So that can really mean a lot of different things, and that can be around, but really thinking about. Really, I brought everyone here because we've got people from years 0 to 5 in a PhD program and beyond, right? And what's great about it is we have hopefully you all have this common set of pain points, triggers, goals, barriers, things that can inform the session, and yet you all bring different perspectives, both where you are in your program as well as what kind of a program you're in, what the nature of that is in terms of what kind of a community you find yourself in. So that's kind of where we're going to get started. The very first thing that we're going to do is just like an icebreaker to get warmed up, and that'll take a little while. So it'll be fun. We'll be doing just like a game. Tested that with Pete and Steve earlier in the week. Got the thumbs up. So we're going to try it tonight.
You can blame us.
Yeah. So maybe before we get started, though, we can just go around and maybe just say name, where you are in your program, and what you're studying. Just kind of give us a sense of that.
So, should I start?
Please.
So Marika Stout, G3, Rising G4, in public policy, and I think that's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Janet, a G5 in English literature.
Mm-hmm. Peter, a G3, Rising G4 in engineering.
I'm Steve, I'm G++, and just finished a year out in electrical engineering.
I'm Ressa, I'm starting next year as a first year in social psychology.
I'm Nicolette. I'm finishing my first year in sociology.
Okay, super. And then joining us, we'll also have Nathan, who is a G2 going to be G3, doing film and visual studies. And then David, who is doing biophysics or something crazy, between MIT, the Broad, Cambridge, Harvard. He's a hard guy to track down. I wish I could say that we'd be Skyping in Josh. But we're going to. Awesome. Oh, thank you. Okay, so maybe I'll stack these guys. So the first thing we're going to do is going to be this activity, but let's kind of keep chomping away, and then I'll get some of the stuff out. Basically, it's going to be a pretty straightforward activity. So what I'm going to do is pair everybody up. So it'll probably be with the person next to you or the person across from you. And it is a game called Tic Tac Spaghetti. And I'll let that suspense just sink in.
Anybody want some water? Rest want some water?
Steve's got the water.
You want some water, Marie Pascal?
I'm not sure that's mine or Alex, but if you could grab like the glass or cone and swing it over there, I think
There you go.
I could do that one.
We'll take the beard's place.
Yes, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Bring this in. Okay, so the broccoli has some delish garlic, olive oil, and cheddar cheese going on.
Thank you.
Good, man. It's veritable forest we're eating.
Should have made you an icebreaker revolve around the food.
Thank you.
Beauty. So, Tic Tac Spaghetti is an awesome game. It is all about free association, and part of the idea is getting us comfortable with, just kind of getting out of the mode of how we think every day. And doesn't really have much to do with what we're actually going to talk about today, except that it is just that way to get to know each other and a way to start thinking a little differently. So what I'm going to do is hand out 3 pieces of paper. We'll have Marie Pascal and Nicolette be a pair, Jen and Marissa be a pair, and Peter and Steve be a pair. And what you will do essentially is one person, so on this side of the table, one of you will start with the paper, and you can make one stroke or figure on the paper, relatively abstract. The only rule is that you can draw, for a couple seconds. The only rule is that you just can't take your pen off the paper. So it could be just like a straight line. You could be, and then you pass it to your partner across the table, and you say what that represents. So like this could be a blade of grass, but you could also be like, you could say, okay, these are waves. It could be something simple and abstract, but you can really bake some meaning into it. So let's say that Marie Pascal draws this and says, okay, this is a wave, and she passes it to Nicolette. Nicolette now has to add to the drawing, again with some kind of relatively simple gesture, but try to turn it into something else. So you could say like, it's a guy with a mustache, or whatever. And then she'll give it back to Marie Pascal, and Marie Pascal will add something else to it. Now the idea here is kind of not unlike Scrabble. You don't want to get too crazy too quickly because it's or I should say, it's easy to keep adding to the outside of something. And as Steve said, once you have a person, you can just add anything you want. So you need to try to stay away from people, but the idea is to try to be creative about like, what can I add? Hey Nathan, not at all. You get the love seat, the seat of love. Yeah. And so the idea is to try to be creative by adding something within kind of what they've already drawn, maybe interact with it, cross it, do something to it that just kind of changes it a little bit. Then you give it back to them and you tell them, okay, here's what you have to work with. And you can get, again, really creative, so when you get the image, you can rotate it, you can draw it, you can kind of reinterpret it however you want. And so the idea is to go as long as you can until you've just got kind of like a plate of spaghetti. I have an example somewhere I'll show you guys. Alright, yeah. And oh, is there pizza in there? Okay. Okay, great. So with that in mind, let's see. Maybe we'll do. Gosh, I feel bad for doing it at the same time. Let me grab some paper and markers for you all. Oh, here we go. So here's kind of an example of like how it could end up. And it's not like, okay, try to outstump your neighbor, but just kind of go until you feel you can't really draw anything else.
And we all see what that is, right?
Clearly Flavor Flav. Judging by the big necklace here.
No.
Yeah.
There was another one that let's see. Oop. Pete and Nathan tried this one last week, so they had a similar one. So same amount of steps, but a very very different thing.
I think we were the undisputed champions.
Yeah.
I thought it was a tie.
So yeah, I would say the goal is try to come up with something creative, and then at the end we will go through with your partner and try to remember what the list of objects were that you ran through. So for me and Steve last week it was blade of grass, a needle and thread, a foxtail, running girl, a mutant duck, a music note, a boat, a cassette tape, top hat, toaster with toast. Steve was very creative, and my dad, cheese boy, and Flavor Flav. And then you can just kind of share them with the group and try to figure out how everybody got there. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So you guys slice of paper, and I'll probably grab the Nathan because it's slice of paper, and you have slice of paper. Dandy. Okay, I'll grab a marker. Here we go. Oh.
So is Nathan on our
Yeah.
team, like running squad D, 3 guys here, or what do we?
Let's see. I'll keep up with Nathan.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, look at that machine over there.
Oh, here's the
You
workers.
are.
Just don't sign the lease.
Try not to think about it.
Ooh, let's see which workers. What?
Yeah.
Pick a color.
I'm gonna go purple.
Nice. Okay.
Alright.
Oh,
Should I start?
go for it. Pick a
You're
color.
so ready.
Okay. Pick a color.
It's a smile.
Okay, you and I
That's
agree.
literally what I was gonna do.
I was like, we're gonna say simple because we're gonna have a lot of stuff to add.
No, you're joking.
All right.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
It's 11.
Different strategies.
Oh, okay.
Do you have one in your mind to go first?
you
or,
already
Oh,
uh,
no,
What?
you
You already
All
did
right.
this. I have already. So one of those things I do my pizza.
Alright, cool.
It's a whole thing.
Alright.
This is a lot of stuff I could do. Doom.
Stock market in 1928.
Yeah. Depending on your perspective.
Yeah, depending. Yeah, well, you can flip it, the whole.
Yeah.
It's start
It's a starry sky with the moon. Maybe the moon's not completely like that, but whatever.
Yes.
I don't even know how to go. What's this?
Kind of.
It's pretty crazy. I don't know how much I can draw here, but
It's the
this is
crash.
raining. It's a cloud. It's raining. No.
There's a
A
scene
flame.
in here somewhere.
Now it's a
Let's see.
All right, so take about 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Do you have however many you can?
It's an ankylosaurus
There we go.
leaving the page.
Oh, what?
That's
An
like a
ankylosaurus?
carriage or like a
Yeah.
bassinet.
I'm in.
A lion.
Um,
Oh. Poor Major.
I'm sure I'm supposed to take that information.
I don't think it worked as well though.
well,
I can rename it.
it's a pretty easy cloud.
Wow.
though.
Yeah, okay, there we go.
It's
We're
a leopard
Oh,
walking on a
nice.
puddle under a starry sky.
Oh,
Looks
wow.
like Kentucky.
Mashed potatoes with gravy.
Okay, this is
Oh,
good.
nice. A lot of gravy.
Oh, that's not a way to do it.
There's so many thoughts.
It's a captain's hat.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's a pretty lumpy hat.
No, there's
Hmm.
a shrub
Hold on,
that's gonna
hold
eat.
it
I
up.
don't know, that's the thing.
Here we
It's
go.
like different color.
The night sky.
Oh, let's go.
Right.
This is really taking the advice to heart, the instructions to heart.
I'm really loving this love scene.
Okay. It's a like a hammock.
Because that's what I
Oh.
It's a
Thank
communist
you.
party.
I like
Can
that.
we color in? Is that allowed by the rules of the
What's
game?
that?
Can we color in?
Um,
If we don't lift the pencil, is that part of our
I'll
rule?
color out.
Let's see here.
It's kind of whatever's within the spirit of the game. I think those all look pretty simple.
Like it,
shape.
so I can color stuff.
I kind of want to put
color,
a face
yes.
here
Mhm. Yeah, you
really
can shape.
badly, but I don't have enough strokes for that one.
Just put
We'll do that
one.
Because we're going to be limited. Then we're going to keep adding stuff in the sand. Now we're going
We could do like
Oh,
partial
yeah.
things,
Right,
and
wow,
it could be
that's a
like
good
a
idea.
ball, beach ball that got stuck in a dog poop or something. I don't know. Just need like a step.
There goes
The
the
spider
Spider?
coming down from
Ooh.
a communist hat because they're
Wow.
wearing
Yeah, I know. I already
Wow.
one
did
straight
that
baby.
once.
Well,
so
I guess
One-eyed cyclist.
I just forgot to stop that.
It's a communist what? Flag?
What is it?
Communist fur hat.
Oh, maybe we
Oh.
should go
It's
for
been
like a
disabused for a while, so there's a spider
abstract, a
crawling down from
contemporary
it.
art painting
It's in
because I would
Coach's
have like
closet.
colored sort of like
Just
the
being
things with that.
Yeah, definitely.
It's the beginning of the
I guess
the
this
outline of
looks
a shadow
like
man.
a
Oh,
credit
very
card
geometric.
that has a
It's all in what you make it.
decoration on the side, and then it's dark outside, so there's a star.
It's a chalet mountaintop with
It's
the
what?
satellite
What
looking
is
into
this?
space.
It's the pullover. I'm just showing you my
Oh,
credit
So
card.
you have like the satellites to look at
Oh,
microwave radiation
setting,
in the
yeah,
Andes,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so that's the satellite. This is the Ethernet going out to wherever,
Oh, I see.
or fiber.
I see. So this is the satellite.
Definitely a fiber
Oh,
in the
sorry,
Andes
for
for
sure.
sure.
Yeah, it's like one of the
Yeah,
parabolic.
yeah,
With a very
Oh,
large
cool. Yeah.
It's a large.
That's
Oh
what the
no!
Andes
Now I
are.
can't do any more
Alright,
to
that's
it.
good.
I was going somewhere. Now it's
This is
It was gonna be Jack in the Box.
The moon.
Jack in
This
the
is
Box.
this is Mars.
Alright,
We'll
now
say.
Jack in the Box.
I was kind of like
It's
a
a
turtle.
duck and it's
Yeah, that's what we're
It's
gonna go
true.
for.
Well, it's
We're gonna
a
have
star
like a-
far, far
with a
away
freight.
with Earth-like.
I'm gonna go for the turtle
atmosphere.
now.
There we go.
The new turtle with 4 legs.
Planet, whatever.
And there's a strange rock that looks like a. That's a
This
strange
is a
rock that looks like a star.
I think I have an idea. Let's see.
Star-shaped rock.
Oh yeah.
All right, 30 more seconds.
Where'd you get that milkshake feed?
It's a level in Angry
It's
Birds.
from Lucklow.
Has to have nice little eye.
This looks a little bit like a light bulb thing.
I know, but I don't know what to say about that. Yeah, we're going lipo. In a box.
A light bulb turtle.
Water droplets behind it.
It's what was that one Pixar movie with Wally? It's a post-apocalyptic world. This is a city. And
You
this
mean
is
Wall-E?
Wall-E. What is it?
What was that? What was that Pixar film with Wally in it again? I forgot.
Alright, it's
Wall-E,
a
yeah.
Yeah, I know, but you.
Okay, one last
Yeah,
round.
whatever. Anyway, so the city. This is a huge heap of trash. This
Okay.
is the only living inhabitant thing in the world. It's a spider and yeah. It's a skyscraper.
They seem to be turning into
Oh, I know what we're gonna
landscapes
do.
all around. Except for this thing. I don't know what to make of this
We
thing.
don't know.
Salvador Dali.
Okay.
What?
Oh yeah, yeah. Nice. What is this? This is the
A
resistance
road.
memory or whatever.
Right?
Yeah,
It's
exactly,
going-
yeah.
It could be covered.
Okay,
There's
I
a
think
cover
it's
thing on
replaced.
top. And then there's this like attendance road. Like a
Okay, so
roundabout.
now I hear about
This
it.
is a little car.
Yeah, good job too.
Okay, markers down.
That Brentwood decided to.
We had fun.
It's a collaboration between
Oh, you
Brentwood
have to
and
remember what it started off with.
Salvador Dali.
Okay, super. Okay, so Team Marie Pascal Nicolette. Can you take us through a couple of the steps you took to get to whatever this is, or what you ended up with and how you got there?
What did we end up
It's like a time machine.
So it actually isn't, but this is a road, okay, and this is like, so this is the road, it goes here, but there's a dead end right, so that's the little part. This is a big thing that's covering it, so it's like a tunnel thing where it goes under and then it comes out. And this is a lake and some greens by the, you know, this is a view top and like airport from on top. We have a road with a bridge and, or not a bridge, but it covers.
But we started with a smile. Right here.
And we got lemon,
Mm-hmm.
and then we got starry sky with the moon. And then we got
There's
a
a
rainy cloud.
Oh yeah. Which became a box.
Wait,
or something.
no, it became a leopard.
Oh yes, a
it became a
leopard with a
leopard.
shrub.
With a and then the shrub got added to it. And then we went to an abstract painting. That was because we forgot we lifted our pinaxid. And then what did we do after that? Oh yeah, and then we got the light bulb. No, did we
Credit
get
card?
No, it was
We
gonna
got
be
a credit
and then
card.
a turtle
Yeah, and we got a turtle and we got a light bulb at one point. I mean
in a box.
Oh yeah, and then what was your a light bulb in a box?
Well, it was a Jack in the Box
Jack
before
in
the
box,
turtle.
That's right. It was like
Okay, very creative.
yeah, not very resemblant, but
Most
Okay, good. I'll put this up on the wall shortly. Put up on the proverbial fridge. Okay.
Or the literal fridge. I mean,
This is true, actually. I have some magnets. All right, so Marissa and Janet, if you make out.
Okay. So we started with the first thing was a caterpillar, which is like here, and then or like a squiggle, and then it was turned into a crescent-shaped moon, and then from there we went to
A croissant.
oh yeah, a croissant by adding that part, and then it was turned into like it could be a bassinet or a manger like lying in it, and then
I think it was the hot air balloon.
yeah, or what about the was that before or after the hammock?
The hammock might have been first. The hammock.
So then it was the hammock because like you attach like the two trees there,
Right.
and then it was the hot air balloon, and then
Was it your cycle?
then it was the
That
cyclops
was my
with,
favorite one.
with the eye, it was just like this part,
Yeah.
and then I think it was. Then it turned into a bird, and then adding the eye, and then the hat, and then the water because it's starting to swim, and then it's this little, and then like a little water droplets coming off of it, and then a mini duckling following the mom and duck, whatever you want to call it, and then big feathers then. So kind of a story.
Nice.
Oh my god.
There's a lot of motion.
Take this one. So, sorry. So what was the final image?
Some
Mama duck,
disproportionate
I guess, with like a little duckling.
Nice.
It's like a robo duck.
Yeah, with the hat.
No, it's nuggets.
Swimming in the water.
Love it. Beautiful. Okay, so now for the communist dystopian fellowship over here. Oh,
He's the
everyone, this is
resistance.
David. Hi, David.
Hey Dave.
This is
Steve.
everyone.
Thanks, Dave. Nice to meet you. Good to
We
meet
did.
you.
You know Nathan, you know Pete, you know Steve now, you know Marissa, there's Nicola in the end, and then Marie Pascal and Janet. And then there's Nina. Okay, great. Okay, so last group, how'd you make out?
Very well for a little bit. We were in 1928, and our stock kept going up and up and up. Unfortunately, 29 happened, and we went down. After that, I believe we turned it on its side, and then what happened?
Became a dinosaur or some kind.
I think, yeah, we made an ankylosaurus leaving the page. If anybody's familiar with an ankylosaurus. Then it became, if I remember,
It became a cloud,
oh, it became a cloud.
Yeah.
And after a cloud, it became mashed potatoes with gravy on top.
Yeah, lots of
So
gravy.
that's our gravy on top. We then became immersed in communist culture, I think.
Oh,
No.
First it was
Oh,
the
no.
moon.
Oh, then it was
Yeah.
Captain.
No,
No,
it was.
It was a captain's hat.
Oh yeah,
that was a
Captain's
moon.
hat.
Then the moon. Yeah.
Then the moon. Then
Then a
communist hat.
Yeah.
Then it went into satellite.
Oh no, then I think
Tell
it
us.
was like the shadowy face. The shadowy face when it was just this line.
Oh yeah, then it was a shadowy face with this
Yeah.
line. That's what it was. Then we got the internet.
Yeah.
But when did the spider come in?
Oh, I think.
That was related to the communist hat.
Oh, it was. Yeah,
Because
the
it was
Oh.
hanging in Putin's closet.
that's right.
Oh, there you go.
It was not being used, and spider came on it.
But after the alien, so this is like down in the Andes Mountains, and this is like the SETI search for extraterrestrial
Nope.
intelligence, whatever. And then this was the planet that it was receiving signals from.
Right. Then it became a game of Angry Birds, where you want to basically be able to slingshot somebody and hit the. This would have been a pig, but yeah, essentially the same sort of thing. It could be a rock. And then what was the middle line with?
Oh, what was it? Oh, it was a city's like hellscape.
Oh yeah.
Post-apocalyptic. This is like all trash and
Right.
whatever. Yeah.
Then we added Salvador Dali's signature warping of time,
Very nice.
and finished it off with a trident.
Okay. Very good.
No questions
Was
asked.
that oh, it was a pitchfork there.
Oh yeah.
No, I like trident. And then there was a trident.
Okay, so okay.
So how many points did
I
everybody?
mean, there's really no way to actually guess how that's going to go. So, but those were great. I mean, as you can see, from like a very just sort of object that kind of keeps getting added onto to some more sort of landscapes that kind of keep going and going. Mercy and Janet, I really like the way you guys took this from like, I know at one point this was like a hammock, maybe like a croissant, I don't even know, and then turned into this duck with another duck, and just very creative way you guys added to it. So I thought that was great. Cool. Everybody feel warmed up? Just as flowing? Sweet. Okay.
Feels
Pizza
right.
flowing. This feels right. This feels right.
Very warm.
Okay.
Color
Good.
loves it for a reason. Keep us water, please.
Okay. Now. Okay. So now we're gonna get to it. You all have a piece of paper in front of you. So for this next activity, we've got about probably 4 activities that we're gonna do in our time together. So for the first one, originally, let's see. I was going to have us do 3 portraits, but I'm going to have us just focus on 1 and just kind of be able to go deep on that. So we're going to take probably 5 minutes or so. Not long, maybe 6 or 7. So you have some time. I've got some magazines and newspapers here to introduce a little bit of serendipity into the mix. But what I would like you all to do is on this piece of paper, create a portrait of where you see yourself in 5 years as a, well, let's say 3 years. So whether you're still in your program or a graduate of your program and on to your next step, where do you see yourself in 3 years? And I'd like for you to start with a marker, which we can, or a pen. If anyone would like to pass that around, you can take one. And to start with 3 things on your paper. Just to draw a circle and a semicircle like that. And if this is your paper, you can take up a good amount of it. And I'd like you to include 3, I got something in that, 3 aspects of your portrait. And it can be something that you draw with your marker, or it can be something that you clip out of here. You'll have to ask for the scissors nicely, because you just have the one pair. But what I'd like you to do is try to represent something that you would like to represent in your external environment. So it could be a job, a location, a weather, a feeling, could be anything, but something external to you, one thing that you see being a part of your life in 3 years. Something that you see going on in your mind. This could be something about what you're thinking or what you're doing, or something intellectual, and then something within your heart. This could be something that you want to, a feeling you want to have, or true love. Or
could you go over those 3 letters again?
Sure. So this would be something, so this is a portrait of you in 3 years, something external to you in your life in 3 years, something going on in your head, perhaps geared towards kind of career or functional or intellectual, and then something going on within your heart in 3 years. So that could be more emotional or abstract. And you can draw something, or just kind of, if you get one of these in front of you, feel free to leaf through it. There's no need to, but I do want to.
These are not ransom notes with the scissors.
Exactly, that's the next thing.
Are we supposed to use a tape too?
Hold still.
What was that?
Are we supposed to use a tape too?
No. Well, oh, sorry, yeah. You have to do taps into the paper, I suppose.
I think there might be some more scissors in the kitchen.
Oh, sweet.
All too well.
Man, this is all.
So sorry, Alex. This is supposed to be aspirational. Is that the like? Are we being realists here? Or are we being
Yeah, good question.
Liars.
Alex, is this like aspirational or are we like realistic? Like, we're on the.
No, shoot for aspirational.
All right.
Not like
So we're like
running
it's like
a flying horse, but like
right.
you know,
Just a regular.
Like a vision board, like in The
Yeah,
Secret.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly. The vision.
Revisioning.
You sound really familiar with the concept of
There's,
vision
Yeah,
boards.
it's
well,
just external
comment.
in your head, and then
You walk into my room and
stuff.
just see like a giant.
Or like a yeah.
Like a
I was like
wall
looking, I was like, I
size
just put some
Yeah,
food.
just
in
like
here.
a massive photo of a mansion.
Like in
and,
our
like,
motion.
Yeah,
That's
motion.
somehow.
Yeah.
Our guys.
Yeah. Do you guys have a magazine there?
If anyone wants a picture of Justin Trudeau.
He's already on my
There
vision
you are.
board, so
He is going to be the external.
he'll be he's
Or
under
the-
the best friend column.
And we should do this
Do we have to
this
use
circle
newspaper or
thing.
not?
Yeah, we're
So on your paper, start with the here's your body and here's your head, and then here's the external.
Oh, cool.
Anybody need anything? Markers, pens, papers. The morning
Black
report
light.
with how the stock market's doing. Coupons for
And
Mother's
we're
Day
allowed
cake.
to cut out of these things, or is there like a magazine that like don't touch it?
These are pretty much all good. Don't tell my mom that I gave you guys the Cook's Country to cut up though.
That's what I was really asking you about.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, if you see something in there, cut it out.
I don't know. I'm not
Yeah,
used
that's
to lying
a-
your
that's
mom
not
about
I know, I'm a little worried here.
Do you want the article about self-driving cars?
No.
Is that part of your?
You take it for oh, this is a good picture. This is gonna be nice.
Do we have to use newspapers or not?
Not at all. You can also draw it if it comes to mind.
Oh.
Wish I had more things, but
You wish what?
I had more props. But that's about it. And feel free to ask for other colors of marker and.
And you want one in the newspaper too? Do you guys want newspapers? Just spare newspapers around.
Sure.
And if anything's really big, just feel free to paste it to the paper anyways, and we'll kind of flip through them. And again, the magazines are really just here in case you kind of trouble thinking of anything. See if there's anything that kind of jumps out at you. Again, it doesn't need to be too literal as long as you can walk someone through it.
Oh, what was that? Yeah, I've got one for you.
Is anybody using the gray scissors?
I don't know which one I used.
Oh, oops. I had two. You
Oh.
can take the yellow or
Okay.
you want the gray? Here's the gray ones. Sorry about that.
Okay, there's tape here. More scissors here. If things are having trouble fitting, feel free to paste one thing on. Yeah, that can go over on leave it versus doing, or you can even just, it can be as simple as a keyword. If you can't find any images or don't want to draw anything, you can just put a keyword or a phrase. So what? That's beautiful. This is definitely going on. Is that a Lego man?
Super. There's a couple of magazines I'm not really using right now. This is just too good of a magazine.
Is there anything that anyone's looking for and hasn't found? Can you kind of put it out to the room?
The purpose?
Are there any categories anyone's having trouble thinking of?
If this weren't an aspirational project, I feel like this would definitely make it on.
What is the
Keywords, okay. Like the way you're thinking. Alright, I need Los Tijeras.
Tijeras?
Good. Do we have any? No?
No, it's a green
They have the juice.
This is
That's right. This is my hands. That's a pretty good jawline.
The sex foundations should be pretty relevant.
This is it's the capital.
I mean, everything in the most external lifestyle section.
Well, I don't, yeah. They don't do the president.
Oh, really? Election cycle's not far away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Very people.
How much more time do we think we need? Another minute?
Another
Yep. All right.
Portland.
Yeah, let me just do one more and then we'll go.
Yes. Are you using this?
Okay.
No, you can go for it. Yeah.
So it looks like everyone's got just about 2 out of 3. If you haven't found an image for it, for the last thing, I'd ask you just to try scribing something quickly, a quick little image, or just write down a keyword, and that'll be plenty to get us started. Where's the tape right now?
I got it.
Okay.
You want it?
I could grab it when you're done.
You
I don't
want
know if
you
anybody else.
If you want it, come
I feel like back in like primary school or something like that. Like cutting and pasting and doing stuff.
very tiny piece.
Reminds me how absolutely terrible I was at arts and crafts. Well, I was fine at the arts, it's just the crafts.
Give me like one more.
It's kind of like
Thanks.
you don't feel like it should be possible to be bad at it, but then you're just like.
Yeah.
That was mine.
Oh, I need 2 pieces of tape.
Turn bad as still is.
Thank you.
I like to keep it in scarce supply. We're running out of tape. I have wood glue, so
Oh, that'd be
keep
great.
it a good wine filler.
Oh, nice.
Here you go.
I'm gonna have to do this. Okay, a little one for Steve.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Another one? Oops. Okay, it's fun to have constraints, isn't it? Alright, here we go. It's almost empty, but should be a couple of people need it.
There's a black market supply.
Oh, thank you. Ooh, wow, look at that.
Ooh, there's black mark.
Things pizza will get you these days.
There we go.
Super. Okay, so take 10 more seconds. Write down any last thoughts you have.
Dude,
Remember, keep
I
it
like
simple,
this.
keep it stupid.
Got both of
That's
them.
what I like to hear.
Oh, where's the ball? Okay, grab
Okay,
the tape.
so as you're wrapping up, just taping on the last things here, what we're going to do next is just take a few minutes to share with the person next to you. Sound like days of yore that you probably yearn for. You know, kindergarten, first grade, those fun kinds of things. Well, we're going to do that right now. So Pete, Nathan, David, and Steve, Marissa, Nicolette, and Janet, Marie Pascal, I'll ask you to turn to the person next to you, hand them with both hands very, respectfully your portrait, and please accept it as such, and take them through your portrait. Take them through that, the external, the internal, and the emotional, or in whichever order you like. Try to get an understanding of who that is and who they are, and then we will kind of come together to share that. So pretty quickly, take 30 seconds, take them through your portrait, and then do the reverse. Sound good? Any questions? Okay, go for it.
Do you start?
Alright, so
Sure.
I guess on my mind would be
There you go
business,
first.
whether it's a good idea to
So
be starting
I
a
still
life for
don't
yourself
find
or not.
anything immediate, but
And then that's kind of
Alright.
the
Let's
emotional
go
first.
first.
Am I going to be jobless? And then put it
Yeah, go
in the
first.
external
Alright.
because there's a lot of
So these are all
whole lost
in the next 3
generations
years.
of
Specific.
Yeah.
problems.
So this
This
is
isn't risen
Yeah.
because that's what I
So
study.
that's-
That's what I'll be thinking
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
in 3
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
I'm proposing my dissertation,
Yeah.
which
Well,
will take place
no.
like in
and,
there.
somewhat of a goal, but
the goal
And then
is
the more
this sort of abstract idea that I think is representative of like that hopefully I'll be engaged
And then
in doing and like taking advantage of a lot of different
Yeah.
scenarios and like internalizing
very
them
obvious
in a significant way. Not just like academically, but just like everyone I meet and
cerebral goal of being more productive.
Could be external.
So, my third year, so either just
What are you doing? I'm improvising. So we're doing Toyota.
A shot in the dark. There are kind of dark interpretations of this also follow. I was trying to
Yes, we
like,
can do like a new
kind of growing my heart, growing
almost
my as a person, flourishing.
And there,
one thing
ground
is
floor.
that people are not going to
After you've been there a year, it's like,
a bunch of weeds.
do I stay here for a while? Or
time
do
with
I
people.
move
I guess
on?
externally it'd be nice.
On my
even
mind.
though everything has that fun part.
So it's
Those are weeds.
oh, it's pretty close to the birds.
So this is aspirational. You're not allowed to have weeds.
Here's
have a chance to go through both.
Yeah, so right
For me,
Oh,
okay.
yeah. So if
For
you're
me,
listening in
external,
college, I will. It's like with a KFC.
hiking in a cool place somewhere that you don't know who because it's so far away. Love it, right? Also, you can't go here because it's so loud. Anyway, somewhere else is externally. At some Then internally, there's just like all sorts of like mentally, intellectually, all this sort of dissertation stuff that's either like written or like in my mind.
Oh, really?
Also, article ideas and revisions for articles that I've already written. Also, like syllabi in the making. So that's internal. And then emotional and heart, they're like, oh, students that have impacted their lives for the better, and they're like making their way through school and doing cool stuff and feeling good about it. And then general life wisdom / contentment. Yeah, so that's there you go.
I really like your external. I think I can
Alright, so take 10 more seconds.
I think the image matches up.
I think so.
Yeah.
I like the ambiguity of that.
Alright,
What is
No, I was
so hopefully this is
internally.
giving you kind of some
Right,
insight
yeah,
into
so
the person next to you.
So
thank you for sharing.
Who's on the 46 sheet?
So thank you for sharing, you know, really
So
what's you know your innermost visions with each other for your future. Hopefully there were some similarities as well as some interesting differences and perhaps things that made you see within yourself that you didn't even realize. And again, the hope here is to be able to articulate some of the things that are a little bit hard to articulate. So what I'd love to do is hang some of these up, hang all of them up actually, and go around the room and even quicker, maybe 10 or 15 seconds each, have your partner walk us through your portrait. Just to give us a sense of what you came up with.
Nice.
And this is just a practice in going with, another thing that is a very important part of creative thinking is be able to build on the ideas of others and not criticizing at the generative part of the working session, which is when we're just trying to produce a lot of ideas. At the end of the session, trust me, we have plenty of criteria we're going to use to kind of hack down all the ideas to like really good several ones. But the idea right now is to just get comfortable with building on each other's ideas. So if your partner takes a little bit of creative liberties, don't fret, and just give them a chance to tell that story. So we'll go around and then that'll kind of like lead us into the next bit as well. Sound good? Okay. So maybe we'll start on this side this time. Is it right if I take your portraits? So I'll hang these up for all to see, and we'll start over here. So Marissa, this is your portrait?
Yes.
Okay. And we have Nicolette's portrait? Beautiful. Okay, and so just as a reminder, Nicolette, you're going to be G2 next year?
Yes.
Just finished your first year?
Yep.
Okay. And Marissa's going into her first year. Cool.
I
So
really
these
wanna
are
say
portraits
like
of 3
26.
years. Okay. Great. So Nicolette, why don't you take us through Marissa's?
Yeah, so on the right part is external, and that's a lemonade stand, and it's sort of like in the midst of grad school and all the things going on, to kind of like step back and take a nice break and enjoy lemonade and like think about that. I'm sorry, I'll go quick. And then intellect is at the bottom, so the eye represents staying focused, like an eagle eye, and then brilliant ideas, generating these, having good ideas. And then this bottom picture, it said Singapore at the bottom, and you mentioned wanting to connect with people and how you speak Chinese and connect with people of other cultures, and then also the metaphor of sort of like building on different parts as being important in your thinking and your intellectual development and grad school. And then at the top is emotional, and it's kind of folded, but that says great strength and long life, and those are really important aspects. And then I really like the shopping cart part. It's sort of like all these things are being thrown at you, and there's all this stuff going on. The guy's face is kind of like mouth open, but then like focusing on the milk, focusing on one thing at a time. Yeah.
Deep. Cool. Okay. Marissa, can you take us through Nicolette's portrait?
Sure. So I'll start at the bottom, I guess, for emotional. So Nicolette is focusing on grow anywhere. So just kind of the idea that there are no boundaries and that you really want to expand what you're focusing on to grow in many ways. So it's growing anywhere. And then intellectual, so Nicolette's doing work with prisons and with sociology. And so that's kind of like at the point intellectual, at that point in 3 years, she'll be kind of doing a dissertation proposal, and so be kind of defend right there and focusing on the intellectual aspect of that kind of academic side. And then external, the political social engagement is the realm of everything that Nicolette is focusing on.
Super. Okay. Thank you very much. I'm actually going to put these up here just so we have room to do things on the whiteboard after this. So next we have Marie Pascal and Janet. This is Marie Pascal's, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Okay. Based on the Prime Minister. Okay, Janet, would you mind taking us through Marie Pascal's portrait?
Sure. So, in the external part, Marie Pascal had a picture of Macron, and to the right of that, her and sort of the euro symbol. So she's hoping that the French people embrace him and that things go well for France and for Europe in general. So, yeah, just like a, I suppose, peaceful and prosperous environment there. And then for the more internal parts of the graduation cap, hoping to graduate in 3 years, with a brilliant idea and more to come, and then her parents on the right hoping that they'll be there and be pleased with her progress, and then on the left side for her future, she's hoping to teach a lot of students and really have them enjoy what she's teaching, and for her to really enjoy that as well, and then her faith represented by a cross.
Beautiful. Thank you.
So Jenna had a lot of stuff in the external life happen. So she just put, life, comma, and it'll be whatever it is. She hopes that like the flower and the plant, it'll be beautiful, and there'll be nature involved. But she's very open. Intellectually, so I think this was Carol Sandburg, is that the right? I don't know it. Apparently some famous woman. She looks like she's not happy, but she's actually someone who's known to be very fulfilled in her job, who's also, very intellectually challenged, and who is a little bit of her own boss, and, thinking about hopefully in academia for Jenna. And then internally, she's hoping to be a little bit like the image of a little puppy, right? Which is to say, have the simplicity of a puppy, just wanting to be loved and being loved and wanting to love, just the simplicity of that puppy.
Okay, thank you. Very nice image. All right, so now we'll go back to Steve and David. This is David's portrait. Steve, you want to take us through that?
So David started out with an excellent structure here. So instead of actually putting the head and the shoulders, what he wanted to do was show that he's probably going to be in Washington, D.C. working for the NIH. And so the Capitol building can actually represent a structure of the mind and body in a similar way. Starting from the top, you're going to see some test tubes, and that's going to indicate that on the intellectual side, he's looking to graduate with a really good sense of science, especially in the biophysics, chemical sort of world. About that, and then on the next to that is thinking about adulthood too, and how to approach that. And so there's a difference there intellectually versus emotionally, right? And so down below, emotionally, he's looking to be in relationship, preferably not with a cow, but preferably somehow. On the right of that one is showing that, like Richard Feynman's diagrams, his particle could split into many different paths. And so one of the things he's thinking about is it going to be a postdoc, is it going to be a medical degree, or some other business enterprise or something like that. Externally, I can't remember, but there was happy face. So I think that's going to conclude that one.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. That was great.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay. David, you want to take us through Steve's?
Oh yeah. So Steve's thinking of nuclear winter externally. Well, I think that was humorous, but possibly there could be nuclear winter. But hopefully it will be safe from that. But intellectually, he's considering maybe starting a new career path or maybe starting a new job, which is also scary to start a new business, especially in the job climate. But you see the jobless sign, which goes into the emotional and the external. Both the job market is kind of hard to get a job currently, and it's kind of an emotional concern about getting a job. But and that's, I guess, makes sense because he's working right now in Kendall, with Toyota, and they're automated car driverless cars. But maybe considering what can I do from there and start my own business. But then also, what does that say? Family man?
To adulthood.
To adulthood.
With a family underneath it.
Yeah, and so emotionally maybe kind of just becoming a man, having a family, kind of becoming an adult. This is a nice picture of, it looks like a father with some children.
That's what I took it to be. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. Thank you. Until we have
Thanks,
our
man.
last two, Nathan and Peter. Nathan, I think this is your portrait.
That was mine.
Okay. Peter, you want to take us through that?
Yeah, gladly. So the first portion of Nathan's portrait is the external, that's at the top. So we have two pictures. They both depict silhouettes of people climbing in the outdoors. And so this symbolizes both Nathan's desire to be outdoors, but perhaps more importantly, his desire to be in close relationship with people in the external. And inside, it's kind of hard to see, but there are lots of brilliant articles inside his head there. Article drafts, article revisions. The long one on the left is his dissertation. And then coming out of that, in the more kind of heart relationships, emotional goals, he has students bubbled. So he has a goal of impacting students and helping them in their academic journeys. And then he also wrote down general life life wisdom and contentment, which covers a lot of ground, but I think captures an essential aspect of emotional and personal health. So.
Well said.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought about putting hearts around the students, but then I figured that would maybe send a message that was unintended. So, all right. So for Pete, there's at the top in the external, there's a guy who just finished a marathon in 2:03, which I don't think Pete is actually
that's my goal, yeah.
going to be able to do, but it's representative of the dissertation, which feels like a marathon for him, that he will have been finished in record time. Or at least just finished in a way that feels fast. Yeah. And then you can't really tell, but then in the sort of intellectual sphere, there's just just general intellectual engagement, people drawing stuff on a chalkboard, and so just to be really involved and I don't know, just into really interesting things. And then in the bottom, it's potentially weeds, he said, but since this is aspirational, we decided there are no weeds, and it's just flowers and really growth and natural beauty coming forth in his emotional, personal life.
Yeah. Groovy. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. You guys are great storytellers, and sounds like really connected with each other. So thank you for sharing one another's stories with me and with the group. seems like there were some pretty common themes, just based on the categories. Again, the external, there's some fears, but also some great thoughts about what is out there and what some of the possibilities are. The intellectual definitely seems like some career-oriented things. What kind of a field do I want to be in? Who do I want to emulate? What sorts of activities do I want to be doing? Who do I want to be impacting? Some great blends between the internal and the external there. And then finally, on the emotional level, love to see these things about growth, achieving love, wisdom, clearing out the weeds, hopefully, all those kinds of deeper needs. So, what is the point of this? Today we're here to talk about community and about how we can enhance the experience of coming to a place, for most of you a new place, location, setting, city, country even, etc. And enhancing that experience of what it's like to live in a place, to be a citizen of a place for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, and to not only complete a program, but again to grow as a person and what that means. And so what we'll do going forward is really think about that as sort of our lens for how to think about this. So we're going to do one more activity, then we'll take 5, need to use the bathroom, get some more water, whatever it might be. But what I'll ask you to do is I'm going to give everybody some Post-it notes. And same kind of thing, we'll take some markers. And now what you're going to do is between your portrait and your partner's portrait, again, you know them both pretty intimately now. We're going to take not too long, probably about 5 minutes, and the ideal would be 10, but as many as you can, really. What I'd like you to do is write down as many thoughts as you can, 1 thought per Post-it note, that connects the dots between today and that tomorrow. Starting with the phrase, wouldn't it be nice if, fill in the blank. So for example, if, for Marissa, who's got the shopping cart of, things kind of being thrown at her, trying to focus on one thing at a time, and, having this eagle eye attention to detail, and some of the other elements of that, could just be focusing on one element of it. Even thinking about the shopping cart, thinking about, wouldn't it be nice if you could, if you could do 1 milestone per year in a PhD program instead of having, the masters and the quals and whatever comes after kind of the first 2 years. That'd be a great one. And it can be pretty pie in the sky. That's kind of the idea here, is almost to come up with something that maybe isn't true. Say, wouldn't it be nice if these were the rules? Maybe if it's if it's around the community, wouldn't it be nice if there were other ways for me to interact with PhD students outside of the department or outside of my team? Again, we want to think pretty focused here around the PhD program, living in Cambridge, Somerville, Boston. Ideas that would somehow you feel enhance your experience or help you reach this sort of aspirational future. But again, they're pretty simple. The idea is pretty simple. 1 idea per Post-it, and just quick, right off the cuff, as many as you can. Does that make sense? Are there any questions?
Are you supposed to do it for ours or for our partners?
So it can be for either. I would say start with yours, and then I'll kind of give us another 30 seconds and try to come up with a couple for your partners, just because that'll give us some fresh ideas, new perspectives as well.
And you said, and this is sort of like, yeah, okay, never mind. I don't have any questions.
Well, I'll be walking around.
If you got a question.
It'd be nice.
So is this
I
trying
could
to
not live like this
similar
for 3
color.
years.
is this trying to achieve
It's always good
getting
to
to the whatever on the poster, or trying to get towards community?
It's trying to get towards. Well, it's a little bit of both. So I would like you to think about what are some of the ways in which you feel like your experience. So you're trying to get here, and that's going to be impacted by the place that you live and the people you're surrounded with. So I'd like you to think of any roadblocks that you feel like are getting in your way right now, with regards to community or your program. Maybe that's the best way to think about it. And then tell yourself, and then ask the question: wouldn't it be nice if that wasn't the case, or if this XYZ was the case?
Nice.
All right, Dave. Here's our first one, just to give you an example.
And there's like a few for yourself and a few for your partner.
And this could be, wouldn't it be nice if I could talk to strangers, but it could be, wouldn't it be nice if, the university this or the city that, or my church this, or, people I have nothing in common with did this, pretty much anything. Okay, So take about 3 minutes, see what you can come up with.
Is it one per postage?
Mm-hmm. And in fact, I'll take them and start putting them up as you guys have them. And for wouldn't it be nice if you could just say WIBNI ... or you don't even, you can just put ... and then your idea, and we can fill in that just so you don't have to spend time doing that.
Yeah, good. I think everyone's got 3, 4, 5. Let's take another minute so you can come up with a couple more. Don't feel like you have to get to 10. It's just meant to throw out quick ideas. Don't think too hard about them. And again, you get to make the rules here. These are some great statements. Okay, take another 30 seconds. If you're out of ideas, feel free to think about your partner's portrait as inspiration. Thank you. Try to get. Okay. Do we want like 15 more seconds or another minute? What do people feel? Ideas still coming easily? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's take another minute. the ones that have the little dash
Oh,
at
yeah?
the bottom are for the partner one for
Beautiful.
Nathan's.
Thank you. Okay, super. Final calls take 30 seconds. Do one more if you've got an idea. Again, feel free to think about your partners. And we're going to mix these up, so I'm not too concerned about where they go. Where's this supposed to be? Okay, cool.
That is our picture.
Oh, pajama, thank you. Okay, great. Finish up whichever note you're on. Super. Pass your papers to the front, please. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, love it. Lots of stuff.
I think some of those are mine, but that's okay.
Okay.
We ruined it.
Oh, so you got a new pen, did you?
Oh, I did. Sorry, didn't tell you that.
Okay, any others? For Steve? Love it. Love the
Really
team.
hope I did this
I haven't
exercise
seen
right.
I love what you guys have done. Okay. Look at this. Everybody got some love. We've got
Oh, are we supposed to write them for other?
only if you need ideas. You can write them for your partner. But this is great. We've got everybody's got between like 6 and 6 million ideas. This is great. So what I like to do now is really use these kind of bring everyone together. So I'm gonna just go through these and start to categorize these by what some of the commonalities are. And I'll get pictures so we kind of capture each of these first as they are. But what I would like to do, and really what our goal is to take these disparate and individual visions and think about what some of the underlying ideas are and see what are some of the common themes that we thought of, so that we can really understand what are the common themes, problems, issues, concerns, realities that's on everyone's mind, so we can attack those common ones. So I'm going to do that for a couple minutes. We'll take a break. Feel free to grab water. There's probably beer in the fridge. Marie Pascal brought these delectable dessert chocolate straw things. Use the bathroom, take a smoke break, whatever kind of stuff I don't know about. Yeah, come back in 5 minutes.
Yeah, there's beer in the
I think David has some.
I'm sorry.
Well,
What?
got some heroin.
Oh, that's okay. That's
In my pocket.
My desk
for
drawer.
permanent markers.
No,
in my
That's
cheek.
why we have tablecloths, right?
Sorry.
It's a real
No,
question.
what
Under
else?
my belt.
And what do you supply to?
I have if anyone wants a gin and tonic, I could do that too.
We
I'm
come
just
back 5
just
minutes.
thinking of
Smash.
play
I'm
mixology.
just thinking about
Yeah.
tonic.
I mean, it would help the creative juices stronger.
Probably.
Yeah.
Literally, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay.
Do you think we could have chocolate cereal with
Second half of the
gin and
episode.
tonic?
Yes. I think about chocolate cereal. Let's just do it.
I'm really craving it right now.
Yes. Let's go. Wouldn't it be nice if all people were chocolate cereal? That's what I said.
No, you're good. Oh no, I didn't want you to leave.
Chocolate straws. Well.
Better than a plastic straw.
Chocolate straws. They're chocolate.
Pizza is really good. Where did it come from? Good pizza.
Heaven. Yeah, the good pizza place. That's what's called.
It's the best. Good pizza place.
This is great for a dance party this floor.
No.
I don't think we've actually ever had a dance party.
Right. Have it now.
Well, there's time for change.
Nathan, does this say you could start a film water club? Oh, film watching club.
Well, I didn't write that, but maybe someone wrote it for me.
Oh, Pete watched it. Or wrote it. Okay.
I wrote it for you, so it's so much fun watching 47th Street
For about
Ooh, man.
5 minutes, I spent watching it.
I've been singing that to myself all day today.
Very awesome.
Very awesome.
The whole thing?
I'm just not sure
Eat it.
Can't wait to see how good we are charade. Creative endeavor.
It might be good, yeah. Take a little bit so you can try to see what's going on
Here we
here.
have to act out something without
You
saying.
can put it there.
Oh, because there were huge race afterwards. No, wait, what? I didn't
And we'll just like those on.
Yeah, we'll be doing most of this right. So about hopefully it still has battery.
Thanks. Turn some stuff in.
Nice. Are you done classes? Or you
Ooh.
Are you done grading?
It's perfect actually.
Well, you should tell about the paper. What was the one about like?
Oh, yeah.
But it's the same words.
My friend was,
so like you
my
kind
friend
of
is TFing
and
a
then there's a board
course called the Bible
but
and
it's like not a real
Yeah.
thing.
I'm really glad I'm not taking it.
You have to
She was
put a
telling me
blanket
about
over your head
grading a
and you
paper
just can only make sounds.
whose argument was that Eve and Satan had sexual tension.
Is this a standard for it?
And I was like, I don't know.
Raspberry.
She's not religious, so she just thought it was like hilarious, and so she didn't have like qualms.
She thought it was funny?
Yeah, she thought it was funny. She's like, I think he's probably at least.
You usually would put people's names, right?
Harvard B plus.
You just did whatever.
But anyway,
names,
I don't know. I'm just not
I'll take
like
Pop culture references.
sort of theology, whatever stuff aside. It's like, how is that defensible as an argument?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not
Where's
sure
your dad? Yeah.
Yeah, how that works, but
Snake. Good time, snakes.
And you want to share?
how's it going for you?
Not quite as exciting as that.
Well, that was just my vicarious.
Good. We're gonna talk.
Honestly excited to move on over to New York.
Grab it and
We
then
had that cool talk on Facebook. That kind of gene editing, editing technology. And there's like GoPro, like them talking on that.
So are you bouncing
Thanks.
back and forth between Tuesday?
And
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
How is it?
So, but I'm mostly there, probably there 4 days a week.
That's not true. You just drive straight across Massachusetts.
Yeah, I'm probably right now. Schedule's probably.
Now that's what you need on Tom's car for. Stay on the highway.
But
Just gotta make the most of the.
Which is like the easy.
that's
cool.
Yeah, sure.
So what do they have for like intro programs?
Sure, no,
It's
definitely.
like coming August and they have like
It's,
a big party for new students or something like that.
On a different note, did you know that I mean, Christopher was in a
Stays
such
awkwardly.
because it was originally used
Did you hear about the Bible
like,
literature class?
Really?
yeah,
No.
like,
I was just talking about that.
Really?
My friend is TFing for it, and she told me
Yeah,
that she had a
it
graded
does.
paper whose
I know, it's
argument
like-
was that Eve and Satan had mad sexual tension.
I heard about
Had
it.
mad sexual tension? Whoa.
You're sequencing.
What an argument.
And part of it came out. It's not as good as it like should be.
Oh yeah.
So I'm
With whom?
I'm on the phone.
Oh yeah.
Gordon tested it.
No, I meant who
Yeah.
did Satan have sexual tension with?
With Eve.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like that. I ran it with another
Well.
researcher, and mine actually.
Okay.
I mean, ours both look similar.
It's a very provocative
A
argument.
little bit better. So I think it was. I don't think it was used here.
Yeah, that-
It was the random.
Yeah.
What would you, I
Huh.
don't know, like
Something weird.
Yeah.
evidence?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
you know,
And I
the
wanted to
devil
have it
was
one day.
seductive or something, right? I guess that must be what the,
But
that's what you argue that, right? It seduced her.
That was a very seductive serpent.
And the snake was a, you know, phallic animal. Yeah?
What?
Okay, that must
Yeah.
be, yeah. You have to like go the
Pretty
Freudian
much that
route.
was the paper.
Yeah, really?
I think so.
Yeah,
Probably
I mean it must be. That's the only way you could argue that.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. That's exciting.
There was like a quote, it was like something like caress the ground upon which her feet trod or something, and it was like, that's sexual. It was like totally like
It'd
an,
just be so
just like
good.
a 19-year-old being like,
It'd just be
ooh.
really nice.
19-year-old dude, presumably.
So provocative.
It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
some guys do like immunization.
Yeah.
Figuring out just
That would be an interesting class to grade papers for.
Actually, don't know.
I'm kind of thankful that I don't watch.
Yeah.
Like my head would explode.
Yeah, because I feel like,
I don't think any here.
like at a certain point, you can't like grade students on more than what was taught in the class, right?
Yeah.
So you'd have to like, yeah. But at the same time, like if the argument is really just not very great, then you'd have to like,
Collectively kind of like, I mean, I think a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
it's like
Yeah.
it's possible to do a lot of creative stuff with the Bible that isn't very good literary analysis.
That I can.
True.
I don't know.
I don't have any nice buds.
What class are you writing papers for?
It's my tutorial, which only has 3 students. So I only have 3, but like long papers, research papers to read. World War II in memory.
Yeah.
The papers are actually, 2 of them are quite good. And then one of them is a little bit of a change.
Really?
Yeah, but
Does the student know it?
Yeah, so.
I'm not sure she does. I think I saw it coming because it was just like, she's a hard worker, but it's just like the writing is just kind of not there. And so that's kind of it. Because I like really like her, but it's
Right.
just like tough. You know?
Well, it must be hard with only 3 people because it's like really personal, right? Like it's not just like an anonymous, it's like
Yeah.
semi-anonymous.
Yeah, because like you get to know them and you work with them very closely over the semester because that's kind of the point of you being like the tutor.
Right.
So like from the inception of the idea to the ultimate execution, you're like trying to help them along every step of the way. So it's like kind of a lot of hand-holding. So it makes it even more kind of like a little bit frustrating when it just like doesn't
work
come
out.
together. Yeah.
Because in some ways it's something you've been working toward, right? Like because you've been working with it.
Yeah. And I definitely like see the improvement, which I'm like very proud of, for her. Because she's like very responsive to feedback. But there's just like a certain point where when you experience this, you kind of realize you're like, oh yeah, like, we do have skills and we do things a certain way. And like it's not just like you write whatever and like the way that people kind of like you just like write whatever. It's like no, you don't. Like there's a whole kind of process. There's a framework. There are like conventions that people stick to for good reason.
Right.
Yeah.
Was there a recent one?
But, so I need to grade those and write kind of little reports on their progress of the semester because some of them are going on to apply to write for senior theses.
Okay.
So that is kind of what is what will occupy the rest
Also
of it.
Singapore.
But I just turned some stuff in myself, so I'm kind of
Yeah.
Your own
like
writing.
really,
Or
on
punishment.
that.
They do some YouTube
Stuff
Yeah.
I really hold on to for an inordinate amount of time. Which is why I really related to the stacks of
My friends
papers in your actual head circle.
Yes, in my head circle, right. But now you've let it off into the wild.
I have.
Well,
Terrifying.
yeah, right. Yeah, I feel like the long law stuff, the work can be too. Yeah.
How's that your semester going? Are you writing papers?
That'll be awesome.
I am. I have just a couple more left, and we're good. I mean, I don't know. They're fine. I don't know. It's sort of like. It's not. I feel like I'm having sort of the grad student equivalent of senioritis. And I'm like, all right, almost done taking classes, and I just gotta get these papers in, and I can start working on my generals list and move on. So it's like a little bit of that, which like. I guess it's better than like feeling totally stressed out as if like, which I guess, but at the same time, it's just a little hard to really get the motivation to be like, all right, like these are gonna be the best papers ever. They'll be fine. They'll be fine.
They'll be great papers. They'll be good papers.
Yeah, they'll be good. They'll be fine.
It won't be like the best papers ever because you've got plenty of papers.
Right.
Thinking about that matter.
Really A.
Yes. Yeah. So, so I have one due on Friday, and then I have one due on the 28th. So it's like. So I think part of it is also like the temporal spread sort of allows me to not be sort of like
Infected with great inflation.
So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You feel like everywhere.
Yes.
Yes, yes, and yes.
Yes.
So what's an inflated grade and what's not an inflated grade? Is B minus is allowed?
I can only speak for the English department.
Uh-huh.
I can't really actually speak for the English department, but I'm a member of the English department.
We only give vowels out for grades.
Definitely inflated.
Yeah.
And like,
what's the lowest grade a student could receive?
I'm gonna ask everyone to come back in as you're talking.
you can definitely fail, but you have to work really hard to fail.
Yeah.
Shoot for the moon.
I mean, they don't say like don't give a C. Basically, when they say C, it really means that the thing was like very serious and defective on like more than one thing. Yeah. So you have to be either a terrible writer, a terrible statistician, a terrible thinker, a terrible lots of things, right?
Oh, is that
But it's funny that you think they're actually
Got that milk?
because I thought my impression. So I do realize we don't rank very well.
Oh boy.
That I do second.
On boards for
But
life.
maybe that's why it feels like grade inflation. I wonder.
What feels like inflation for you? Like in your,
I don't
because
know.
you're teaching econ classes.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's necessarily grade inflation.
So do your classes have a lot of like paper writing or?
Should have put this in my external environment.
You
know?
support column stuff.
What?
Should put this in my external
They have
environment.
like 5 short papers.
Yeah.
Just give them a stoner in my life.
Or the intellectual part.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
Um,
I'm a stoner in my
3
life
medium
gets so
papers
much
and
better.
1 hard paper.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah, it's the green pins class.
I can't use a straw very effectively.
And participation's like a third of the grade too, because it's
Supposed to
three
transform into
and
chocolate now?
discussion-based class.
When you guys
What's
should
happening?
when you guys should put this in your dream
Yeah.
in your vision board.
I don't know.
Ah,
Maybe I'm just
scientists
being
are
too, but
curious
I really-
brunch.
No, how does that
I read
brunch?
No, it's not a
Big
pun.
first.
It's just like a
For
very simple
professors,
statement.
they're empowered to give whatever grades they want. But for teaching fellows, a lot of times it's you're disincentivized to give honest grades because then the professor is like, "Are you sure? Like, did you contact their res team? Like, what if you're going through something?" Which is like all fair, but it just like creates a lot of work for you as a TF because then you're just like you have to second guess yourself. You're like grading on all these factors, and people are like, "Well, you know, there's not that many English majors, so." If they can't really write, like give them a break because they're like a math major, and it's just like you're devaluing our entire profession by doing this.
It should just be like law school, right? Where you never release the grades, right? Then you can get whatever grades you want, but nobody has to release them.
Well, I think blind grading would also be
Yeah.
useful too, because there's a big disparity between students who know that they can ask for things versus students who don't.
Yeah.
Like, so
What's blind reading?
What do you mean by ask for things?
blind
You
grading
grade.
is when, like, say they put the ID number on the essay
Yeah.
instead of the names.
Oh right.
So
I did blind
And
grading
then,
for some classes and as an
by ask for things, I mean
Any good?
some students are extremely
It was
comfortable
fun. Yeah.
coming to office hours and saying
Yeah.
like, help me with this, like,
that's true.
or I'm gonna talk to the professor or whatever. And the other students like don't seem to know that they can do that.
Yeah,
Sometimes
that's
that
true
comes
too.
from like what high school experiences they've had, whatever. Other times people are just simply very entitled and are like, you know, the day before the paper is due, they're like, oh, like can you like read a full draft? It's like, no. But you know, there's just a lot of variance.
Hey, everybody get some water, some chocolate, some sugar, some conversation, some milk, good, some Jack Daniels. Awesome. Okay, cool. So I want to be cognizant of time. We've got
There's in there.
we've got one more activity that we're gonna do. So you guys are lucky. I did the third one for you while you're in the kitchen. So we've got one more, and this is where we're gonna get really creative. So this will probably take about 15 or 20 minutes. Now this looks a little messy because there's limited real estate, but what you're looking at here is I took everybody's post-its, everybody's ideas, and including the ones from over here, and I started to look at. Is that you? I think so. Okay, that's good enough, right? Post-its have been known to do that. Okay, especially like these are probably 12-month-old post-its, so
Make them like the yeast.
yeah. You just have to use a chisel to get them off the wood.
40s. Back with the person.
Okay, so the purple ones you'll see are different and new because we didn't use those before. So I used those as keywords to start to annotate some of the, and just make sort of a mind map out of some of the different ideas that people shared. So there's ideas here around experiencing the city. People saying things like wish I knew good places to hike around Cambridge. Wish I could get used to the Boston weather. I wish moving wasn't so emotionally difficult. Some really good insights here. Things around inspiration. I wish that stress could be replaced with curiosity. I wish I could be energized daily. I wish it was easy to come up with new ideas. These are really good ones. Ideas around mentorship. I wish I could have a mentor, creative, fun business coaching, senior faculty member with energy. So again, this is now we're talking a little bit about the people that we're surrounded with. Now, if we had more time, we could kind of diagram these as to how sort of intersected and interrelated they are. What I tried to do was a little bit of that over here. So this looks a little messy, but there's a lot that people expressed around the outcomes that come out of that you want to realize in a few years. Let's go leave these guys here. The sense of having an efficiency to the work that you do, as well as a balance, the work-life balance, spiritual friends, being able to sleep, all that kind of stuff. Along with outcomes, so balance and efficiency are kind of going hand in hand, and then we have these outcomes, things people want to realize when they come out, and then accomplishment, recognition, achievement. These are, when we think about outcomes, this is another way of thinking about how we're being recognized And then a really interesting section over here that I love about collaboration in the work that then gets into safe and open sharing and pure relationships. It started with clubs, but then I realized it was more about interpersonal relationships, whether one-on-one or through clubs. And I found that to be really interesting. So just as some examples, for outcomes, people are thinking about things like, wouldn't it be nice if it got easier rather than harder the further into PhD that you get? Wouldn't it be nice if my dissertation could be 5 pages? Wouldn't it be nice if the structure for grad school was more clearly defined?
Yeah.
Talking about the balance that comes into that, wouldn't it be nice if you could push off deadlines, balance work and life, have that full triangle? Wouldn't it be nice if, kind of coming over to the efficiency part of that, there's some interesting thoughts around, as well as with collaboration and kind of the pure relationships, where's the human element in the program? So, wouldn't it be nice if, where was that? One of them was, wouldn't it be nice if students could collaborate on a dissertation in common? Wouldn't it be nice if scheduling coffee with people could occasionally be less dehumanizing? Guess the post-it second that one. Okay, mentors are important. Wouldn't it be nice if building community was number 1? Wouldn't it be nice if writing could be somewhere in between isolated and communal? Wouldn't it be nice if you could start a film watching club? Wouldn't it be nice if people like grad students were more open about their challenges and failures? Wouldn't it be nice if Pete didn't have weeds in his heart, as he does in his portrait? Thanks, love there. So whereas here there's very functional elements of like, wouldn't it be nice if I could work more efficiently, if I could create this business idea or model, if I could produce more than I consume. Up here we have more human questions about the people we interact with and the kind of environment and culture that we create. And then kind of in the middle here is where these meet, which is ultimately we're searching for some kind of accomplishment recognition, very cognizant of the outcomes. And you can kind of think about, balance kind of is informing a lot of these too. So some of these got, all of these found some kind of a common theme, which is really cool. I mean, if you just look at the tapestry of this, everyone has pretty common, each individual posted idea is different, but very common themes. And this is a way to kind of look at, okay, so which ones seem to be the most common ones? There's a lot here around accomplishment and recognition, and there's a lot about efficiency and that balance, thinking about, again, things like, being able to produce and sleep and have the social interactions and have a work-life balance. And again, that kind of gets into some of the human elements and the spiritual elements, and the accomplishment and recognition. Again, about wouldn't it be great if I could get an award, if I could get a position, if I could do X, Y, Z by the time I graduated, if I could get published, things like that. Now, the accomplishment, recognition, and outcomes are very focused on your visions, which is awesome, and things that I think we want to come up with creative ideas for. I think what we kind of really have within our power tonight, in the next 15 minutes, to think about though and affect change on hopefully is this human element over here, because we're humans, we deal with humans every day, and to think about these ideas of collaboration, pure relationships, safe and open sharing, and ultimately how that can inform some of the rest of these items over here. So what we're going to do for our last activity is we're going to, again, we're going to hold on to all these and I'll take pictures and share them, but we're going to just focus on one area today. And this is like really where it gets good. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on, okay, so we're going to focus on these items over here. So I'm going to rephrase this into a problem statement. We can kind of like massage it a little bit until we feel comfortable with it. And then what we're going to do is come up with some ideas of how we might address that. So problem statement, for example, would be, it might be something that you phrase as, we must do blank in order to blank, otherwise, blank. So if we say that, what we're trying to avoid here is, having an inhuman experience, a dehumanizing experience, or being closed about sharing and things like that, not building community. Those are kind of the challenges that we want to avoid. So let's say our problem statement was something like, how might we, ... And so this is not how would we, could we, should we, but just how might we? Just a very soft approach to this. How might we how might we create an environment in which people are more open about their challenges and failures, and maybe we could add to that their difficulties or their challenges. Does that feel like a fair one to start with?
Yeah.
Or is there anything that anyone would add to that or modify?
Say it again.
How might we create a culture, let's say in our lab, again, community, school, whatever, that how might we create a culture in which people feel comfortable sharing their failures, difficulties, or challenges?
I'm just supposed to answer that on these things.
So what you're going to do is take the post-its you've got in front of you, and I have some more if you need more. Take your markers. Same kind of thing as what we did before. We're going to take just a few minutes, and if you can, I would come up with just a few ideas. Really just basic, literally whatever comes to the top of your mind. Doesn't matter how cliche it is. We're actually not going to use these ideas, spoiler alert, but I want you to write them down because we need to just kind of get them out there.
Question, Alex.
Yes.
Before we get started, I'm curious if. So I agree with you that I think this is a problem that's kind of endemic in culture, which might touch on more deeply people being disconnected from each other. But I do think people downplay both their successes and their failures, even though they, I don't know, one's failures weigh heavily on oneself. Successes, I don't know, have not experienced those recently, so I can't speak to those. But I don't know. I'm curious if you guys think that this is a problem, or if this is maybe not an issue.
In regards to also successes, or just the problem statement?
Yeah, the problem statement. Okay. I'm on board with it. I'm just like curious if other people are.
Yeah.
I think there's a distortion in some ways to being able to define how you talk about what a success would be or what a failure. So I kind of agree with what you're saying there. It's really hard to, I don't know, even allow a success to be the right success. I think the metrics are, it's really hard to talk with that. But like I know it's like, oh, I've seen, oh, so and so, and they did a great job, or hey, I did the same thing as so and so. But it's like, but it doesn't feel like I really did anything or something like that. I don't know. And I'm sure it could be similar to the failure side. But
So actually, maybe what would be a more productive way to do it is why don't we throw out some ideas as a group, and we can kind of talk about them, and we'll just try to get like 3 to 5 ideas on the board that we feel pretty good about. And again, they can be pretty basic, and of course, there's always the question of like, okay, so how do we actually do that? Again, that's not necessarily the point of today. We're just trying to come up with some ideas kind of right off the bat. Does that make sense? Okay. So who's got an idea? Throw it out. We can kind of talk about it a little bit, and then we'll kind of get it into something we feel comfortable about. We can record that.
Is this more in like practical ideas or more
So this
like
would be
idealistic?
So this would be practical. Yeah.
There's a faculty member at Kristen in Econ who has this list of all his failed projects, which is like 10 times longer than his list of successful projects. And he's actually very famous for it in Econ.
And
people know him more for his
keep
list
it like
about stuff.
oh yeah, there's like a New York Times article about that.
Yeah.
Does he keep it like displayed somewhere?
Yeah, he has a CV of his failed
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
It's like printed out or on his
It's
website?
printed out on his website.
It's really famous. Yeah.
So I used to intern for a production company that did a show on Yahoo, I think it was, called Failure Club. And the show was like a reality show where there's like a group of people who like, they like try to do a dream thing. Like I want to be a stand-up comedian or whatever. Like something that they didn't think they could do that they'd fail at. And they'd, like attempt to do this stuff, and then they'd meet like every week and like talk about, their attempts and like their failures and what they're learning or whatever. And it was almost like a, and then obviously it was filmed, but it was sort of like a support group, but it was called the Failure Club because the idea was that what you were trying to do wasn't